10 seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here we've got a match between TongFu and TongFu.WZ, and this is going to be the second game in a two-game series. For those wanting a brief synopsis of game number 1, well, everybody was TongFu fighting. Those cats were fast as lightning. It was a little bit frightening, with everybody fighting with expert timing, but in the end, TongFu.WZ were able to wrap it up with some really nice Naga turtle strats and a little bit of throwy plays in the heat of the moment, back and forth. It was really fun, but in the end, we are going to be seeing TongFu.WZ taking game number 1. Now, TongFu look to even that up and get some points on the board here in the group stage of iLeague. Once again, thanks for tuning in. I myself am Blaze, and I am going to be joined by none other than Apemother. How's it going, man?
Hi, it's going really well. That was a long game, dude. I hope to see a faster game this time around, and certainly seems like they're picking into like this mid-game aggression kind of thing.
Definitely, very different draft from what we saw previously. I mean, still some of the same heroes, but overall, the ban out of the Nagas shows a statement of intent from TongFu. They're saying this game's not going to go that long. I don't want Gyrocopter to have to go through that again. I mean, he probably had an aneurysm in that last game. It's just so stressful, so frustrating, and they actually almost had a win condition there due to a mistake of the Naga, but in the end, it all just, it's dust in the wind. But we'll see here. Clockwork, Queen of Pain as the opener for TongFu. Like you said, a lot of aggression, a lot of potential to initiate, to find those openings, to find those pickoffs, and deliver the damage they need to get some kills on the board. But Lina and Lion are going to be the openers here. Sometimes we see these as a support duo, sometimes we see the Lina in the mid with the Lion playing that supportive role, and we'll see what they prefer in this instance. But you were talking about the Beastmaster as far as off-laners, as far as good heroes that can be picked up in the earlier stages. One thing to note is that Bingo is actually one of the better Chinese off-lane Beastmasters, so very probable that they're going to look at it in Phase 2 since they're up against heroes that they really want to lock down, like this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense when they ban out the Earthshaker and Gyro as well. Gyro is pretty good against Beastmaster lane because of Flak Cannon, and the way it works kills the boar in engagements. I'm curious though, like last game they had Visage on TongFu, and Lycan was open. We haven't seen Lycan played in such a long time. I guess people kind of forgot about it. But I think it would have worked super well in like the last pick, and just use the Gyro as a support even. You would catch TongFu.WZ off guard really hard and just push down, and they can't really stop you, I think, with that kind of draft. And I think it would, I don't know, it's kind of forgotten in some ways, and I think it certainly has its place now. So,
so we're gonna see a couple of Shinkyu's favorites being banned out here, taking out the Anti-Mage as well as the Tinker. Along with that, of course, he still runs heroes like Ember Spirit, but the pure damage and physical damage from the ultimates of the Queen of Pain and Clockwork might make that a little bit too difficult for them to pick it up. Still, against the Leshrac, you kind of want that Flame Guard, and we'll see if he considers it here. But we are going to be seeing this Leshrac picked up, and yeah, you get some good mix of damage output as well as disable. Sometimes we see the Leshrac run as a core, like a number 1 or 2 position, but more often recently we've been seeing that the hype of the Octarine core die down a little bit, and they were just seeing him more commonly as an alternative to Lina in the supportive role.
Yeah, I think he's still really good as a core, but I think Bloodstone is the go-to item for him.
Yeah.
Still, even after the Octarine core was introduced. They might go for Shadow Demon here, or even Brewmaster. It's a good pick. I really like the hero, and I like that it's coming back to the metagame, because it's really good with the ulti and like the team fight control it provides. It's kind of reminiscent of TI4 meta.
Definitely. I mean, he obviously has a great timing with his initiations. He provides some nice disable that the enemy carry has to buy into countering, and we'll see the Fatal Lancer actually get picked up here for the side of TongFu. The answer quickly is that Star Spirit, which makes me think that maybe they're considering like a safe lane solo for one of these two heroes, and then maybe going for an aggro try, which would be really good. So we'll see Phantom Lancer kind of on the defensive from the onset. And how do you feel about PL when it's in like a try-v-try situation?
He really needs levels to shine, but he's
5 seconds.
yeah, he's kind of
remaining.
weak in a tri-lane scenario, but it could work. I think Wanshu might want to go for like a Lich dual lane with the Brew. That could work really, really well here. And just put Storm and Lion safe and keep Lina mid versus the Queen of Pain. Then they have really good matchups all over the place. And the dual offlane is going to do a lot of work, I think. Especially since they know the Leshrac is probably a support. And like Leshrac, Phantom Lancer safe lane.
Radiant team ban.
I don't know, man. Maybe they go for something like a Keep of the Light here. Would be pretty cool.
TongFu's turn to pick.
Interesting. So they ban out the Broodmother. It feels like TongFu feel like there's a different laning configuration than what I was considering. Is there a chance that they're like roaming the Lina and Lion constantly and just running solo lanes on everything? I don't really understand.
I think Brew and Storm matchup against Queen of Pain mid is not super good. They might be expecting Leshrac mid, Queen of Pain offlane, support
10
Clockwork maybe,
seconds remaining.
but that sounds really fishy. I just think Brew and Storm versus Queen of Pain mid is bad, so you want to keep the Lina mid versus the Queen of Pain. That's how I look at it, because Lina is a good matchup versus Queen of Pain, because of the range and the spam. She can't really do anything about it. I think if they go for Lich here, that would be super good.
Really? What makes you say that?
On one show, that is. Because
Sure.
then you can do Lich and Brewmaster offlane, and it's gonna be really good. And TongFu doesn't really have that strong of a safe lane that he can
Radiant team pick.
like punish you for it. And it's, I think it's gonna be super good if they do, but we'll see. I think it's clock support.
Really? I mean, I've seen the Nyx and the Leshrac both run support. I have not seen the Clockwork run support in, I would say, like 14 months. Like, it's been over a year for sure. It's just been, I mean, it's an a strat that can work, and I've seen some of the like Russian or CIS teams try to run it in the past, but Godblack definitely was as one of the guys that tried to really make it work, but I've never seen much success with that. What do you think there's any strength in it, particularly here?
I don't see the strength, but I just see the laning is better if you get the Nyx on offlane. Because you don't really have any setup for Leshrac stun right now, except for Phantom Lancer slow. And with Clockwork Boots, you can just cog them in and then set up the stun easy. I think it's just the best thing to do. I don't think it's very, very good, but at this point I think it's what they have to do, in my opinion.
Okay. So the one thing I'm reading into it is the Nyx Assassin could really benefit from the levels in the offlane, like getting the mana burn up a little bit faster would be really good against the Storm and such. But as we see it right now, it might still just be like Nyx Leshrac, and you kind of use them as like a poor man's Lion. It kind of feels like the Nyx is the poor man's Lion, and the Leshrac is the poor man's Lina, and they just kind of go with that combo there. But it looks like you've read it correctly, man. Kabu is going to be picking up the Clockwork, and it very well may be a support duo between him and the Leshrac.
Yeah. And is it Melody Lover? Isn't he the offlane player?
Yeah, he was in the last game. They've been switching around a little bit, though.
He was the support Gondar. I mean, isn't he the support player?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I meant to say.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So
it's offlane Clockwork, right?
yeah, it's weird because Kabu has been playing a lot of various roles on the team, so it's kind of hard to read into it. But I think the Melody Lover would be playing it as a support Nyx, and Clockwork offlane as kind of the norm. So do you think the Nyx is still going to be like of impact this game without the fact that he's going to get the levels?
Yeah, if they can pull the safe lane, for sure.
Battle.
But I think it's kind of awkward to have this two kind of supports. And the Clockwork is not gonna have a good time against the Juggernaut. Like Juggernaut can 1-on-1 the Clock and win. And the Brew is not gonna have a good time either, I think. On the offlane.
Oh yeah, the Brewmaster.
Interesting setup.
Yeah. Offlane Brew, I haven't been a fan of it. I didn't even really like it that much before the nerfs, but after the nerf to his armor and his Thunderclap slow, it's just like, yeah, it's really, unless you have like all the Earthshaker blocks in the world, I don't feel like it's a really good lane. But he'll go out there, get the ward out early, boots up for him. And yeah, I guess it comes down to if he gets in range for Spirit Lance. Like, Spirit Lance is a really good setup to make sure that both the Impale and the Split Earth are pretty reliable. So we'll see kind of how much activity is stretched there. But going for some quick introductions here, and the prior period before the game begins. We're going to be looking at the side of TongFu.WZ, Radiant side this time around. They're going to be running a support Lina in the hands of DDR. They're going to be having YSeek pick up the Storm Spirit, Null Tally start. Actually already having 6 tangos in his inventory before he gets the bounty rune, so no branches for him. Then, of course, he's going to be going, we're going to see Shinkyu go for the safe lane Juggernaut, which was one of their last picks there. And then the Brewmaster, of course, Bingo, going to try to get the bounty rune, and he will succeed. So Wanzhou already starting off with the double bounty rune, and as the statsmen tell me, that gives him over a 60% win rate just off the bat.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know, I think they should have stayed around. That was really not good that they got it, but I guess it's like 50-50 if you just spam click.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, they've kind of... Did they change the runes so that it's...
Yeah.
Even if you stand on top of it, it's still going to be right there?
Yeah, you can click through heroes to get the rune. So if you just spam where the rune is going to spawn.
DDR going to take some damage here. Shadow Strike along with the Impale, so that's going to be frustrating them a little bit here. And Dual Lance is kind of bringing out in the mid. I mean, obviously they're just kind of like helicoptering. They're just going in and out real quick, but... It seems like they do want to make a contribution between the Storm and Queen of Pain matchup, since otherwise, it's, like you said, it's very skewed for the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, he's gonna have a very good time. But he didn't get the bounty rune, and
Sure.
Storm did, so that kind of skews the lane as well. Top lane, are they going in through?
Yeah, really good flank. They get the slows, they get 2 stuns. It should be the death of Bingo, and that's going to be first blood for LPC. So Boots already up for the Leshrac, solving some of his earlier issues in terms of getting in position for those disables, and that's going to be huge. Bottom lane, though, Kabu is far too far forward here on the bottom lane, trying to kind of maneuver about, but he's still going to get caught out by 1 stun, meaning 2, and they're going to be trying to right-click him down. Cog knockback, Stout Shield and Tangos. He'll be alright. He'll make his way to the bottom rune.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuns on the safe lane with the slow setup as well. Like, it's a total of 3.3 seconds stun, which is pretty huge in the start of the game.
Oh, Storm Spirit might be in some trouble here. He will get some good return damage onto the Queen of Pain, but still on the front line, that's the Nyx Assassin right-clicking, and then actually gonna be the Storm to get the kill first, so Nyx Assassin gets some great experience, but that experience will be fed back over the Brewmaster with 1 clap and crit. Bingo making a great rotation.
Bingo, yeah. He's level 3 now. That's huge for the Brewmaster. That was such a fortunate rotation. He just ran for the rune, I think, top, but he saw the gank mid and turned around.
Wow. And Red's got to be frustrated. I mean, he's going for all these big offensive plays, and generally speaking, this succeeds, especially with the help of the Nyx, but in this case, he just was 1 hit from getting that kill and ends up missing out on all the experience. And if you look at it now, experience per minute wise, the Storm is leading the Queen of Pain at 3rd place, barely above the Brewmaster.
Yeah, I think Storm got the kill on Cop before he died, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the Nyx
That
got
was
the
insane.
experience. So
That
it's
was
like
insane. A bit of over-aggression, I think. Yeah, overall, I think this favors Radiant a lot.
Still, LPC's got the 2 points in Lightning Storm, going to chase down Bingo with the boots, but interesting way to use his spell. Tries to bounce it over to Bingo from creep to river, and in the end they get absolutely nothing.
They could have probably killed him. And I'm surprised he went for Mana Burn instead of Carapace on Nyx.
Yeah, it definitely would have saved him against that Brewmaster before, unless the Brew does one thing where I've actually done this in a mid matchup. I played a Nyx versus a Brewmaster, and a way to actually bait out the Carapace is to start with Thunderclap, cancel it, and then just keep walking past him, and they'll probably Carapace. You wait it out, you still go for the clap and crit, but if he didn't do that, then obviously that would have saved his life earlier when he was in the river versus the Brewmaster, going for something other than Mana Burn.
Yeah, it's not a hard thing to do, but it's kind of a mind game-ish scenario. Storm might be in trouble here, unless he gets a good rune. He could get like a haste and kill both of them.
Let's see, gets the illusion. One of the worst runes you can get. Caught out in the river, he'll be stunned out. Illusions do nothing, and the Lightning Storm snags the kill.
Let's check. He's almost got mana boots. He's like 400 gold away. It's a pretty big deal.
And Bingo's actually taking a lot of damage here. Spirit Lance is available again. They can dive this easily. There's the Lightning Storm. There's the Spirit Lance, and there's another kill. Phantom left getting it this time.
Completely though.
Yeah. I think he's going back to Fountain anyways, though, so it should work out fine for him
Yeah.
to go and retreat. And yeah, getting a 4th kill on the board for TongFu. So overall, what looked like it was pretty good for Wanzhou initially is now turned on its head a little bit. Queen of Pain's still not at her best here, but she's not falling behind necessarily.
No. The problem is the offlane for TongFu, I think. Juggernaut has his face boots now, so his lane is just free now against the Clockwork. If you get too close, and he's halfway to 6 as well on Juggernaut, it's basically a free kill, and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you just walk up to him, right-click him down, and as soon as he leaves the safety of his creep wave, that's going to be the ultimate coming out. So pretty good position to be in, but for now he's going to get Cog knocked back, lose some mana here. That frustrates him a bit. And I actually like this Observer Ward coming out from TongFu here on the top lane, getting the Watcher below behind the tier 1. It's going to allow them to dive this Brewmaster that much more zealously.
Yeah, it's really good, especially if you want to push the tower, and the tower is below half health, and they're going on Panda.
Yeah, good pickup. Nice combo of spells, and that's pretty much what you're looking for this tri lane, is just chaining up everything. It does cost them a hefty sum of mana, but they do bring them down clean. And look at this tower drop now. They don't have the Diabolic Edict, but Glyph will be forced out nevertheless. They'll clear out the creep wave, and Brewmaster can't really TP into this because of the stuns, because of the nukes. Like, he'd just lose at least 80% of his health trying to get away. So really, it's just going to be a free tower.
Phantom has more stats over
Radiant's
Phantom
top
Rush.
tower is under attack.
Twice the torque.
Well, we see the tower fall to the PL, and as far as that goes, 1 point in Phantom Rush seems pretty important, right? Like, I've seen tons of builds and tons of variations where they choose not to max a skill, or they max a certain skill at a certain time. I've seen very stats-oriented builds from the PL, but 1 point in Phantom Rush seems to be still very valuable, unless you're really bad at managing it.
Yeah, I think it's just way more worth than 2 points in stats. I think people value stats way too much sometimes, but I get what he's thinking. He thinks that 2 points in strength can save him from a gank. But I think Phantom Rush can do the same, even more, if you use it right.
Dire's
So-
bottom tower is under attack.
So
Interesting.
most
Interesting
people
choice.
consider Phantom Rush pretty offensive. You say, as far as saving you from a gank, what do you think would be the aspect that allows you to do that there?
If you juke and then turn to a creep wave and you have Phantom Rush still off cooldown, you can just charge back to the creep wave and then W and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's pretty hard to do, but it can work out. I mean, just the opportunity of doing so is more worth it than 2 strength, in my opinion.
Sure. I would definitely agree with that, but we'll see here. Juggernaut farming up pretty well on the safe lane, but without a tower last hit, he is being outclassed by the Phantom Lancer in terms of net worth. So Shinkyu kind of trying to make it for lost time. Would love to get that gank on. We're right now going to see Sayaka get the ward up on the high ground here, so they can pretty much know if anybody's approaching that bottom lane. It doesn't give full vision of the lane, but it gives a good idea, and I think that means that TongFu have to be very wary about this Clockwork.
And you see the Brewmaster, he's just abandoned the top lane.
Hmm.
But he's pushing in now, so he's going to get level 6 and stuff. But he's just really weak in this scenario. He can't really do anything when they just stun you down. He's not really that tanky, and he doesn't have an escape. So in that sense, he's kind of a weak flaner.
Yeah, the evasion's not really going to be doing much for him, and the lances keep just piling on. That just so much damage directly to him. He'll be able to bottle up, and he does get his 6, but yeah, definitely not the situation he wants to be in on this off lane. But yeah, U9 not being suppressed at all. He's farming up fine. He doesn't have as many last hits, but he's got 2 kills, an assist, and a tower, so he's still feeling pretty good.
Yeah, he's doing it really well here. He's going for stats, a lot of stats. He's gonna get drums, I assume, and then Diffusal Blade, I guess.
Drum Diffusal Heart is that's the standard Chinese build after your Aquila and maybe Magic Wand.
Yeah, even Manta is good here because of the Storm and Juggernaut.
Definitely. So, I mean, Doppelganger in general is really good against the Storm, against the Juggernaut, but it really depends if that Orchid comes out from the Storm. As soon as you see that, you go Manta for sure.
Yep. Sorry. Next is getting closer to level 6.
Clockwork's already there, but we haven't really seen any hook opportunities from him. Do you think he needs to rotate, or with the current state of the game, are they happy with farming passively and using their spells reactively?
They're gonna move to his lane now, so that's what they're thinking. They wanna kill the Juggernaut in the jungle. Or get a pick up on lane, I'm not entirely sure, but... yeah, they want to do something with the clockwork. That's why you pick it. You need to stay active.
Okay. So, easiest kill is going to be on the Lina. Further into the jungle there is, of course, going to be that PL, but Clockwork won't really be able to assist in that. They have to go in very quickly. He looks over the spin out. They just go for the easy pickup, and that doesn't even take like half a second before he just evaporates there. Very clean pickup on the Lina, and it looks like they kind of want to push. They don't really have the skills for it with the Diabolical Edict, but still, I mean, just getting that gank off is strong. But now coming in, the Juggernaut, if they can just stop him from blinking out. There's the Omni Slash. Oh, she blinks out after the Electric Vortex expires. Stun inside the cogs, though. They will be able to bring down Kabu at the least. But what is Melody Lovers doing here? Popping the Earnest Shadows. There's going to be a right click, but it looks like it's not going to be enough to bring down Yseek. Very close call, but he will walk away with 45 HP, and they waste their second Earnest Shadows charge just getting a little bit of healing on a hero that naturally has an extended amount of HP regeneration. So, not really the best way to use those 2 Earn charges, but all the same, maybe they can Rocket Flare down that Storm Spirit at the last second in the base.
Yeah, and Brewmaster still has his split cooldown. It's interesting to see if he can actually do something with this.
So, what about that Omni Slash with the Vortex? It is only a level 1 Vortex, which is only 1 second in duration. Is there any chance that that play works, or that they really just need to realize that the stuns weren't long enough?
She has treads. She's pretty tanky, and it's only level 1 Juggernaut ulti without Mask of Madness. They were overestimating their damage, I assume, but naturally it feels like an easy kill.
Sure.
They're playing the farm game for now.
So which team do you think benefits more from just passive farming for the moment? Do you think one team is looking to build up a certain set of items? Obviously the Brewmaster has a long way to go for his blink, so that's kind of a priority for him, but other than that, do you think either team favors this passive farming experience?
It's hard to say, actually. I think if Radiant can use the Brewmaster ulti in a really good way and maybe get objectives or a lot of kills with it, that favors them a lot. But until then, I'm not entirely sure, actually. I think TongFu on the Dire side have the advantage is farming.
Sure. So we see there's going to be an attempt at a couple of abilities. There's going to be the Impale connecting, but the Storm Spirit zipping away, just barely dodging out the last bit of spells, and it's kind of a reversal of what we saw towards the bottom rune there. Yseek will be able to survive. They waste an ultimate, and they're not able to really connect with what they needed, so that's just going to be forcing TongFu back, and TongFu proper will just kind of go back to the farming game, looking for the Orchid on the Queen of Pain.
Wow, that was a nice play. He dodged Lance with Ball Lightning.
Yeah, he's been doing it with like just the tiniest bit of mana too. Like he doesn't go any real distance, but he does disjoint it. It's just cute little plays there. And
yeah, it's actually really good. I didn't know you could do that. That's huge.
And then he's going to be going for a Bloodstone, so no need for the Phantom Lancer to go for the Manta style unless he really wants to split push, but it would still take off Drunken Haze, and you wouldn't have to use your Diffusal Blade to purge that off, so, or Doppelganger for that matter. So possibly still goes for it, but like I said, the general build is going Drums, Diffusal into Heart, and just gets so tanky that they can't do anything to you.
Yeah, I think Diffusal Manta is the way to go though, because of how the game is going to play out. With the Orchid, which is probably gonna turn up. Oh, he's going to Bloodstone build, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about there. But all the same, I've seen actually Storms go for Bloodstone first and then go back for the Orchid. Do you think that's a tempo breaker, or is it still going to be as effective?
I think it's really good if you catch them off guard with it. Like the Queen of Pain and the Phantom Lancer. Even, yeah, all of their heroes is gonna get kind of wrecked by the Orchid pickup. If you do it in good timing and catch them off guard. For sure.
Looks like Kabu wants to go for a
you don't really want to get the int stats unless because of the Nyx mana burn.
Sure.
I guess that's what he's thinking mainly.
Yeah, we'll see going in. The hookshot is available here. The target shouldn't be the Storm Spirit though. They don't have the lockdown for that one, so maybe considering the Lion, but not getting a good angle there, not getting good vision either. So they just kind of settle down and keep their tower alive. Only losing a few hundred HP due to the siege creep. Down bottom, there is a bit of a skirmish, but U9 making his first rotation of the game, heading down bottom, dropping his drums just to use his magic wand, efficiency at its finest. U9 doing some good work here, and Blink Dagger is going to come out on the Brewmaster, so this is actually enabling Wanzhou to try to make their offensive play, and haste run on him too. So I definitely think they're going to be looking to commit their ultimates pretty soon.
Actually, a good timing considering he has died on offlane.
Dire's top tower is under
It's like
attack.
his 40-minute dagger with bottle, so it's really good. Might be able to use it in mid as well.
Yeah, we'll see. The hookshot will come in right here onto DDR, but they get the stun combo. They nuke him down. Kabu will fall with his targeted enemy, and now we're going to see the blink in on the Brewmaster, splitting up, doing the right-click damage to LPC, tossing the Crit Pain in the air, but in the end he can't do it alone. He just doesn't do enough damage directly, and it looks like it's just going to be a zoning ultimate to an extent. The kills pretty much decided between the Lina and the Clockwork very early, but the haste rune that was bottled up from before keeping Bingo alive in his retreat.
He actually blinked into them after the split. That was strange. I thought it was gonna blink out for sure. I was like, where did he go? But yeah, he had a haste rune. But yeah, Brewmaster without any kind of backup and not snowballing hard is not gonna do much alone. Ever since the Boulder Smash nerf as well.
Sure.
Doesn't do nearly enough damage alone.
Yeah.
To these kind of tanky heroes, like Nyx is pretty tanky.
And a lot of people don't even think about it, but the damage types actually come into play a lot from the Brewlings. The Wind and Earth Panda do piercing damage, so they don't even really do damage to heroes in their right clicks. Even the Pulverize bonus is mitigated. So, like, the Fire Panda is the only one that's going to be doing damage, and he only got to do a few auto attacks in there early on with just the level 1 ulti. So, yeah, with that Boulder Smash damage reduction, it's really weak in how much they can output in the earlier fights. But we do see the hookshot, really good hookshot, catching Xinkyu off guard and bouncing around the illusions. He's going to waste his Omni Slash. So we're going to see the catch out of the Lion with a double stun, and that makes it a 2-for-1 as the Queen of Pain goes down bottom to the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, he really got caught out there. He's going for the Battle Fury. He has 2 pieces in base. I'm surprised he's going for that aggressive play when he's going for that kind of item.
Yeah, could just look to farm it up a little bit, but in the end does take a spill here. Now it's going to be full control of the mid lane here to just knock down the tower. 2 points of Diabolic Edict now, so pretty clean kill on this tier 1 despite the glyph. They'll be finishing that one off, and the last hit will go to the Dire in general. So TongFu going to get some good gold momentum that way, but we're going to see actually an interesting catch out here. Trying to force staff the Nyx Assassin back. It is going to get him away from the Sentry Ward, and that Vendetta will keep him alive.
Yeah, it was 10 seconds on the brew split there as well. But yeah, that was good 4-staff from Clock. Good timing, you just delivered it as well.
Definitely. Trying to coordinate the direction the guy should be facing, getting the item off the courier, all that good stuff all at once. It's definitely not the simplest task to make that kind of an extraction, but it works out pretty well, and they're leading 9-5. So pretty strong showing from them so far, but obviously that Storm, he's about to pick up his Bloodstone, and that's going to make it very difficult for TongFu to really address him directly. I mean, you were talking about the mana burn, and even when it gets maxed out, because there's no intelligence given by the Bloodstone, it just gives you bonus mana and the mana regen, it actually scales pretty inversely to the Nyx Assassin's attempt to foil the Storm Spirit's progression.
Yeah, it's really good. But Queen of Pain is going to have Orchid pretty soon, and that might be troublesome for the Storm. But it's still going to be pretty tanky from the Bloodstone, so we'll see what happens, but... The Phantom Lancer is getting really close to the Diffusal Blade.
Good stuff there. Yeah, going to be finishing that up in no time, and I guess that's when you kind of go for more direct engagements. You try to kind of control their jungle. You don't really need to sit back and farm on the PL. You can take the Diffusal Blade and start fighting with it, and then the gold you get from towers and kills is what you put towards that next big item. I feel like this is the kind of time that you come online here, like 19 minutes in. And that's probably one of the bigger strengths of the PL is how much he can do with just these items that we see here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's his strongest point. He doesn't fall off a lot, but he's just really strong at this stage in the game with the Diffusal and the stats item that he already has.
Yeah, I mean, I guess most people talk about how he's good at all stages of the game. Early game, the Spirit Lance does a lot of damage. Late game, obviously, he's a carry, but I think that this mid game is a spike that most heroes comparatively don't get to see. Like, maybe the Juggernaut. I guess the Juggernaut can compare a little, but yeah, we're seeing in this matchup in particular, Juggernaut has to go toe-to-toe with the PL. A lot of times you see Juggernaut plus Magnus versus Phantom Lancer, but Juggernaut by himself does generally have to go for a cleave or an AoE item, and that's not always going to be the ideal item for the game itself. It's just a necessity in this context.
Yeah. He's already aiming to like deal with him late game. I think they could pressure a lot more, but they're not confident.
Sayaka going down, pretty easy pick, just walks into the wrong part of town.
Yeah, it sucks to be a Lion support in this game. Like, with Nyx is gonna have a really good time. Use Vendetta now, even. He can solo kill Lina or Lion whenever he wants, basically. As a support, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, that is actually really strong. They have to pay a bit of a support tax by buying up the sentry wards, and even then, they'll just leave them less tanky, easier to bring down in isolation, and that means they kind of have to use the buddy system. Just everybody help out everyone, but we're going to see Storm catch out the Nyx via this sentry ward and avoid the forthcoming gank.
I think this just favors Dire one-show. No, classic TongFu actually, a lot. Because of how the game plays out, and like they're getting map control left, right, and center, and Radiant they're stacking up with this brew. Seems to be going for the BKB or Aga. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, he is up against Silence, so I think the BKB makes the most sense here.
I think it's really good as well against the Phantom Lancer. Otherwise, you're just gonna get mana burn and Silence, as you were saying.
Frustrating stuff. Any new items that might come out here? Like 6.84 obviously brought in an array of new items, and a lot of people are using them to quite effective measures, but I don't really see them being that high value in this game here. We're going to see Melody Lovers get picked off. Nice combo there, but do you think there's any chance for, I don't know, anything new?
I think Lotus Orb is pretty good for the Dire. You can Lotus Orb Jugger ulti, Haze, Finger, Laguna Blade, Hex. There's a lot of stuff.
We're going to see a lot of damage falling out back and forth. They want to finish off the Storm Spirit as quick as can be, but the Bloodstone keeps them up. Nice tankiness there, and now the Brew Split going to cause them some real issues here for that Clockwork. Blinking out of the Audi Slash is the Queen of Pain. She's going to survive, and not so much. The Clockwork is going to be able to just retreat with his allies. So, surprisingly, only seeing that one kill on the Lina that started it all off.
Yeah, I think one item we didn't talk too much about is the Glimmer Cape. Which is actually super good for both teams. Because mainly all damage is magical, and even if it isn't, you require detection. So I think you can do a lot of work in this game. And it's so cheap as well. I just think it's really, really good. But you need to get some kind of mana item like Arcane Boots or Soul Ring to sustain the item. But I think you can do a lot of work in this game. I don't think anyone is opting to get it though. Clocker's gonna get Ags. Lesh got Yules.
Oh, Melody Lovers walking right into the Sentry Ward here on the Radiant side. Getting picked off by the Storm Spirit. The Yule's not going to help them too much, but it will keep them in this fight. That may be something they want to force here. Brew Split down for 40 seconds, so they kind of feel like they can kind of take control of this area even without the Nyx Assassin. But for now, it's spreading the map, controlling the jungle, and gives TongFu.WZ some breathing room, finding another pick off like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice for supports to know that the Nyx is dead.
But we're going to see Shikyu try to go away, and it's going to be the ultimate of the Clockwork to bring him down. Good hook connect, good pick off with the silence, and yeah, he tried his best to react to the situation, but unfortunately it's just not going to work there.
Yeah, I think that's why I think the Battle Fury is kind of greedy in this scenario, because you could have had Manta Style. That would save you from the Orchid. But he's kind of in the awkward spot where he already aims for the late game, where he can actually just cleave the illusions. But I think you should be thinking otherwise. You could pressure with the Manta and take team fights, and you have to deal with the PL in a different way. You have to kill him before he makes illusions, kind of.
Sure.
If you can get him before he actually makes illusions, it's not that scary, but it's difficult sometimes.
Definitely. Now we see some dewarding that could cost them some lives. You're going to see Sayaka go down pretty quickly here, revealing his position to everyone, just being extremely aggressive. If you look at TongFu, they're not worried about farming. They're not in their jungle. They're all about going on the hunt and then pushing things down. Now they catch the Yules onto DDR. Nice 4-staff away, but doppling forward, he'll get some tower tankage, and wow, she'll just go down fast. Now we see the Primal Split come through. Oh, wow! And then deading away from the Omni Slash, they break that, and now they just lose the Leshrac. But YSeek doing some good work here onto U9. Doppelganger again. Going to be able to get him some distance here, but they have to find the right one. Have to focus it down with some disables, but they can't find their target. Instead, it's going to be the Sonic Wave coming out onto 2. Big damage on the Juggernaut. Out of mana, he'll go down. And they have yet to kill the PL, who is just going to be throwing some lances out at long range. Kabu gets a good hook, and double cogs coming up if he can survive, but the Finger of Death will bring him down instead. Illusions taking out Sayaka, and Quintapain will get the last hit on that one. Melody Lovers now jumping onto Bingo, and that was his name-o, but he's dead-o. So we're going to see DR pop the Laguna Blade, finish off the Quintapain, and from there, looks like they'll disengage.
Interesting fight. I don't know really. The Omni Slash was a huge part of that when the Vendetta just turned it off. That's so unfortunate for the TongFu Wangshu. Otherwise, what was it? Did Storm die? It was 4-4-2 or?
It could have been 3 for 2. Oh no, the Leshrac died too, so that would be a 3 for 3. All in the long run of it, yeah.
You got 12 Bloods on Shardis and a Yules on Storm now. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, really well. So what do you think about this like purely defensive build, where the Storm just naturally uses his spells to be offensive, and then uses the items to survive against the the Orc of the Quintapain and any incoming damage?
I think this is the correct way to play Storm in this game. Because you can be offensive with your mana instead of items, so definitely the right way to play it, I think. I don't know, we need to do a lot though. We need to get a Hex or something so we can lock down the PO instantly. Otherwise they're gonna have huge problems with the hero later on. Even though they have Cleave and Juggernaut, it's not gonna matter too much, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with your general sentiment that the Battle Fury could have come out later. I've seen a lot of 3rd or 4th item Battle Furies kind of work out a lot better, with the intention of not necessarily farming with them, but fighting up against illusions with them. So I would say that, yeah, this build in particular, the fact that he gets really no HP other than what the Ring of Aquila gives him, that he definitely could be finding more value in a variation of this. But he'll still be in a good spot in about 10 minutes if TongFu do let up on the aggression. For now, could they be considering Roshan? I mean, they do have Diabolic Edict, they do have some decent right clickers. It's not the best Rosh lineup, but it's there.
Yeah, I think both teams can do Roshan if they really want to, but it's gonna take some time for the Dire team because Fanlands Illusions doesn't work.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But it's a possibility. I think they just want to go for kills though. Their lineup is designed to just pick off and keep picking off and maybe get some objectives out of that with the Fanlancer, but they're doing really well though. Still, it's kind of an even game, which I'm surprised to see, considering the circumstances with the offlane brew being locked down so hard in the start. He's almost got a BKB.
Wow.
Without having any kind of impact in my mind.
Yeah, minimal.
Like, we've seen the brew splits come out, but it doesn't feel like they do too much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that in general. I mean, he's definitely been involved, but as far as like turning the fight, it's not been there yet. It's mostly been the other heroes, the Juggernaut, the Storm, who can do a lot there. But yeah, he'll get the BKB out. He'll kind of get some extra right clicks and hazes out before he goes just immediately for that split. I find it interesting that the Clockwork's actually going to be going for the Aghanim Scepter here. I mean, obviously you could use one to hookshot to cancel a spin TP.
My God. And look at Roche HP with this DD. This is so huge that they found that rune.
Jeez, the crits coming out from Shinkyu. A lot of damage coming from this Juggernaut. And they're just going to clean that up, no problem. They don't even suspect it at all.
That was really, really fortunate. Wow. Aegis on Storm is so huge here. Like, when they get it for free as well, that's just insane in my mind.
And it just kind of brings the game back a little bit. I mean, obviously there's a net worth and experience advantage for TongFu proper right now, but bringing it back pretty quickly, that Roche is not going to give them that experience and gold that they're lacking, but also just give them space. I mean, 5 seconds on Aegis for the Storm, he can definitely fight with that definitely take a good engagement and kind of build off of that, which would even the kill score out quite substantially. So looking for that, but for now the smoke play comes through. Melody Lovers pursuing maybe an initiative with this Blink Dagger, but for now they see 3 up on the high ground, and Kabu has a perfect hook lined up.
On the D-warding, is it gonna go? Oh. Yeah, I think you're just respecting the storm right now. Even though we see him, he's pretty close. And he's just gonna clean up with the Aegis. I think you need to be very, very afraid of this storm.
So, what I was thinking about this Aghanim Scepter on the Clockwork. One thing could be you could cancel like a spin TP from the Juggernaut when you're initiating, and then still have a hook to follow up for the chase. Is there any other, like, just in general, is it just good for moving across the map? I've seen some Clockworks even farm with it on the neutral creeps. Like, what do you think about this Aghanim Scepter?
I think it's just really good. It changes the hero. Like, you can hook 2-3 times in a team fight, and it can be really game-changing. And I think it's really good, but it's quite expensive, and he's not the best farmer. So I see it more of a kind of late game, mid-late game item. I would rather see him get the Glimmer Cape here, I think. I think the Glimmer Cape could do so much for the team. Like saving the Queen of Pain or the Phantom Lancer from the magic damage. It could do so much work. Feels like they kinda auto-banned the item. It looks like Leshak is going for it though.
Yeah, some delay.
Like they have this gentleman's agreement that they're not gonna build the item or something.
Nice.
Because
Well,
they're
actually,
not using
Lena's
it
got
at
hers
all.
now. Yeah,
Oh, she did?
yeah,
Nice.
2 now. Lena and Leshak both picking one up.
I think they're listening to the stream.
Taking the advice, but yeah, they do find a nice little pick off of the Phantom Lancer, sets him up for an easy tier 1 kill. He was just farming out behind enemy lines and not really in the best spot to respond to the initiation of the storm. But now BKB comes out of the Queen of Pain, doing some good work here, glimmering away. The Juggernaut can't get caught out by Kabu. It's Kabu that falls instead to the Omni Slash, and Melody Lovers will clean up the Lina on the western side. So now they're chasing Queen of Pain, but she is glimmering, she is blinking, and she is gone. And as long as the Brewmaster can just control the fight for the remainder, then they can still find some good kills here. Shinkyu is out of mana, but he's still ready to right-click, and they kill off the Leshak very quickly. Now looking at the Nyx Assassin, he's got his Carapace. They're a little worried about that, and Red's still in this. He blinked out, but he's back in. Oh, wow, what a jump from YC. Paul Lightning is hard and gonna hit hard onto the opposition, but now U9's doing some good damage here. Diffusal, burning out all the mana. No mana for the Brewmaster or for the Storm, but he'll be coming back up with that Aegis the Immortal, going in deep onto U9, charging in with the respawn. Oh, big damage killing off the Queen of Pain, but now the Diffusal doing work, burning his mana, and he's gone! One big mana burn on top of a bunch of little ones, and suddenly the Storm drops down. He'll be respawning quick with those Bloodstone charges, but that's still a pretty heavy kill. And they're not done yet. They'll Doppelganger right onto Shinkyu. He's running out of mana quickly. Won't be able to spin in a second. But they are worried about U9's health pool. Bingo. Getting caught out. Kabu right on top of him with the Battery Assault and soon to be the Cogs. They use it. They split earth it. And that's going to be the kill.
I think it was the right call to go in. Because you saw Storm was top without TP. I think he even TP'd there. So I think they should win that fight. Like, they were 5-4. But they got absolutely crushed. I don't know what crushed them so hard, but Clock just instantly died. Did PL die before the fight?
I don't believe so. Oh, no, yeah, he was picked off initially. Yeah, he was picked off down in the tree line down bottom, and then he was still respawning when he was coming back into it. So, yeah, he wasn't in the fight initially, and then, yeah, Clock just got Omni Slash down really hard. Like, he initiated on the Juggernaut, but didn't have a response when the Omni Slash hit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and the Storm was a bit overconfident with his Aegis there. He went a bit too deep on the Nyx Assassin. You should really respect that hero if you're Storm. Even though you don't have that much int items right now. His Monodern did, I think, 400 or 500. It was pretty insane. And the PL illusions, of course. But just the fact that you're getting Carapace and then stunned or whatever is really, really scary.
Yeah.
He has a BKB now, though, which is huge.
Isn't it a little sad, though, having to go Yules into BKB? I feel like just, I don't know, Bloodstone BKB and then an offensive item like the Hex maybe instead.
Yeah, I agree, kind of. But I get why you would get BKB against the Nyx Assassin, though.
No, I definitely think the BKB is right. I think the Yule is maybe the item that he could try to skip instead.
Yeah,
Oh, gonna find Kabu though, hexed out as a fish. They're gonna just do the Omni Slash to make it quick and dirty, and suddenly they're going in 5v4 under the mid-tier 2 tower.
Fanmas just got a Scary as well. He's pretty tanky. But if you look at the network now, they're leading very hard on the Radiant side.
Yeah, pulling it forward.
At least for the 2 cores.
Yeah.
Dire is more even. A lot more so.
Yeah, the distribution of wealth here for TongFu.WZ is like across they have the 1%, they have their 99%. They definitely are breaking it down with these 2 cores getting most of it, but still overall a pretty even game. U9 gonna get glimmered away, doppelgangering out, but what a play from Red going in here, very aggressive, and that is punished heavily. Whoa, thinking the BKB would save him there. And we're gonna see Leshrac just toss in the air about 3 or 4 times, and finally they'll focus him down. Glimmer or not, they'll just zap it. Finger and Laguna Blade to the face, and that's gonna knock down another. So they've gotten 2 more kills. They still have at least 1 or 2 ultis. Yeah, actually, they just have the Ball Lightning, so we'll see what they do with it here. Mana Burn gonna really hurt the Storm Spirit. Diffusal Blade burning him down too. He'll be forced. He'll pop the BKB, and he'll try to turn it onto Kabu. Falling forward, now it's U9 that he's bringing down, but Storm is completely out of mana here, and they have to sound the retreat.
Yeah,
Kabu has that axe though.
He can hook shot, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be really scared here.
Yeah, let's see the opportunity hooking right onto Yseek. He's gonna get stunned up. Really good blink from Melody Lovers as well, and they're gonna clean up too. Just staying way too long. They should have just walked away with the Leshrac and the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, that was a good hold, and yeah, a bit overconfidence from Wangshu, I guess. Not really knowing their limits.
Thank you.
And now Juggernaut is down for a minute. He went for Sanyash after the BKB.
Interesting. So, what overall can you just kind of generally examine this Juggernaut build and talk about like what he has in mind, or is it he just picking it up piece by piece based on how the game changes?
I think getting Sanyash now is stupid because it's not that great of a late game item, and his inventory is starting to fill up very, very fast. I think Manta would have been a lot better since you can remove Orchid and it's the better late game item. So the Sanyash pickup doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and the early Battlefield pickup is really greedy to me as well.
Alright, well we're going to see the Geometry site come out for the Lina. She's been fed up with the Sentry Wards, they're not doing enough for her, so she goes for the Bling Bling, and she'll be covering the map a little bit here, taking care of the enemy observer, scouting up the Nyx movement, and that kind of thing, but we see something similar coming in from the Nyx on the other side, so both are now putting the gems on the table. We'll see who's going to win that bet when the next clash comes through, most likely. But SMY is up for the Juggernaut. Like it or not, it does give some movement speed here, some good mobility in the fights, and we'll see if he might be able to dodge out a couple of key abilities in order to stay active, or if the Clockwork will just keep him pinned down.
Yeah.
What do you think about Ghost Scepters this game for the Dire? Obviously, Nyx's House has one. I'm kind of thinking one for the Clockwork.
Yeah, that or Glimmer. There's a gem on the table now though, and there's a Nyx on the field, so Glimmer kinda loses some value, but yeah, Glimmer or Ghost Scepter is really good. What else? Maybe Lotus Orb on the clock. I think he's the only guy that can actually get it in a reasonable manner.
Sure. So what stats does that give again? Armor and regen?
Yeah, armor, damage, and regen. But the fact that you can put it on someone that's frontlining, like the Phantomancer, and it's basically like a 6-second Linken's, kind of, because you don't want to use single target spells on him, because they're gonna be reflected back at you. So I think you could be really, really good here, since there's so many single target spells from Wangshu.
Yeah, really, I agree with that. I think that'd be pretty solid. So we'll see, maybe if he considers it later. For now, the Ghost Scepter it will be. And Queen of Pain, she's got a plate mail. Could she? There's 3 items now that she could be looking towards. Do you have a preference there?
Maybe she's going for the Lotus Orb instead of the Clockwork. That could be really good. Other than that, Shivas is very nice.
Yep, we're going to see a clash break out here. The BKB Storm Spirit going hard onto the Nyx Assassin, but on the backline, U9 doing some major work with the illusions. They'll glimmer away from him though, and U9's taking too much damage. He's too low on HP. He can't get away fast enough, but he does get the Doppelganger away, and he will be able to survive for now. Kabu's going to be tanking a lot of this damage here, just trying to be the sponge for it. The illusions are creating chaos. U9 trying to TP away. He'll succeed. I can't believe it. They actually got out without dying. only losing the line in the middle of the array. And actually Kabu now looks like he'll be going down despite a small goose chase he leads them on.
Yeah, that looked really, really bad for TongFu. Like, the fight started with Phantom Lancer going down to like 10% HP. And then his illusions aren't very good because they just die from one nuke. But he actually lived, which was very surprising. But he got like the full duration Omnislash on him only. So that was like best case scenario fight for Wancho, I think. But they couldn't finish off the PL in time, so he got away.
Yeah, so in the end they didn't really lose all that much. It's a 1-for-1. They don't expend any ultimates. 2 or 3 were expended by Wanzhou, so now we see kind of a open field for TongFu to push forward. And they're going to be trying to dominate the Radiant jungle a little bit, farming at the bottom mid lanes, and just in general looking for their next opportunity. Oh, might be. Oh my gosh, that was actually a close call there. The Storm Spirit could have gotten mana burn, and that would have been catching him out completely in that mid lane, but obviously they need more reinforcements for such a unpredicted engagement.
Yeah, he was not ready for that. He was scared of the jump, so he just backed up. Reasonable reaction, I'd say. I really like this build from Brew. I think it's perfect. If you can get an AC on top of this, it's really, really good to go. And like their high ground is going to be super strong with the auras, and it just amplifies your Storm and Juggernaut. And even now, Storm gets lifesteal from the Vlad's aura, so it's even it gets even more potential.
So Blink is actually going to come out for the last strike here. He went for the casual point boost earlier, but now has a full arsenal of utility items. Blink, Yules, and Glimmer Cape. A lot of ways to use these items, offensively, defensively, initiating, counter-initiating. We'll have to see. But for right now, we're going to be seeing the 4-man smoke, trying to bait a little bit for the Storm Spirit, and it looks like they're going to take it hook, line, and sinker. They will see the Storm, and we'll see how they respond. Jumping in, big damage coming out, Sonic Wave, Mana Burn, everything taking him down, and now it's the Brewmaster in the fight. BKB's immediately splits, and Tornado's up LPC to bring him down shortly, but we're seeing U9 do some good damage with these illusions. Sayaka barely getting away. Now we're going to actually see 3 dead for the side of TongFu. With that buyback of YSeek, Melody Lovers on the run, not going to be able to get out for himself, and wow, they just all fell so quickly there to the Omnislash.
Yeah, they went kind of all in on the Storm, which was baiting super hard, and he got kind of caught off guard as well with the amount of damage they actually had. But then he just instantly bought back and came in with a long jump from the tier 2, and that fight was just over instantly because of the smoke positioning from Wancho. Now to get Aegis and Storm. They're gonna look to high ground now with this advantage they've accumulated.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, the Phantom Lancer is going to try to deter that a little bit with his push up top, but overall, the Juggernaut's just so farmed at this point. Like, late game progression or not, he's about to hit his 6th item slot, and yeah, the Butterfly is just going to put him in a position to dominate the game. In fact, he could just go in with the Eagle Song and still be pretty confident here. He's lacking a little bit of HP. He's at 7 seconds on the BKB. And looks like that's going to be enough to force the TPs, force the Glyph, and force TongFu on the defensive.
Yeah, I think they should wait. The right call is the back here for sure, and get the Butterfly before high grounding.
And the Bruce Split too.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a huge upgrade for him. In survivability and DPS, so there's no reason not to, because you have 4 minutes or so left on the Aegis as well.
But we're going to see Kabu find out Bingo. They're going to try to go on him, but the BKB makes that a little bit more difficult. The Edict will still keep him locked down, though. He'll have to split. Shinkyu with the Omnislash in just 8 seconds, but we'll keep an eye on this Phantom Lancer. All these illusions trying to do work, but the BKB Storm killing off the Clockwork first. So Leshrac and Clockwork both do go down quick. They still have yet to use that Omnislash, and U9 jumps to the high ground. An awkward spot for him to be caught in, but looks like it's going to be enough to get him away as they change their target over to the mid lane, and they just want to push on through.
Awkward for Phantom Lancer to be caught on the cliff, but they didn't see him, so he got away with that. Their high ground is going to be really, really pressured now, though. I think Butterfly is flying out.
Yeah,
it is.
Exactly. And there's no one to intercept the courier, so that will be a Butterfly and Shinkyu for the next fight with Omnislash available. Finally, the heart comes out on the PL along with this Eye of Scotty, but it almost feels like it's a little too late. Like, he's not doing enough damage in the fight, and he's taking so much. We're going to see the Omnislash just tear through him, heart or not. He's completely dead. and they're going to just go for the racks here. So many unable to buy back. It's hardcore mode now, and TongFu.WZ are looking to put the last nail in the coffin here, looking for the 2-0.
That was so much burst. If they only had the Glimmer Cape to save them there, that could have been completely different, but Leshak was dead for like another 10 seconds. So. He got a little bit overconfident, I think, with the heart. He's like, I'm invincible now, he can't kill me anymore. But that was not the case.
Yeah, not even remotely. That was just brutal. Just getting focused down so hard. They have so much damage now with all these ultimates. Like, you see the real strength of the Lion, Lina, and Juggernaut when they all pop, like, all of their ultimates on one person and just completely delete them from the game.
Yeah, that would have been a lot different if he actually had illusions up, but there was kind of no way for him to get it there, unless he doppelgangered, but he was managing the courier at the same time, so he got caught off really hard. He could have waited for his team to respawn, almost, I think. Maybe they had to let the racks go, but then he would have at least live. Maybe maybe catch them when they're moving out or around to the next barracks.
Alright, so this may be one of the last plays we see here. Bruce Split available, big damage here for TongFu.WZ. It is going to be a 5-on-5 though, with the Sonic Wave unavailable, so we'll have to see who's going to be able to pull forward here. Nice combo of stuns here, but the hookshot blocked out by an ally, and just jumping in with the BKBs. Everybody blinks forward, right-clicking down their opponents. Leshak dies instantly. Kabu fell as well, and now looking at U9, the big man, the one they need to bring down. They take down the Nyx Assassin, they take down the PL, and they prompt the GG. This is TongFu.WZ taking it 2-0 here in iLeague China.
Yeah, very nice play from the Radiant side. The Brew actually had a lot more impact than I thought he would have. He got a lot of farm actually in the end, but no, overall nice played. I think game was favoring TongFu a lot in the start and like started mid game, but then they kinda lost it with that Roshan when they got the free Roshan and DD. That really turned things around for Vanshu.
Yeah, really nice play from the Radiant here. They were able to just execute well in the fights, find their timing where they could do the most damage, and while it may have been a bit of a squishy build from the Juggernaut, he was able to make it work with an Omni Slash coming out in every single fight. Only a couple of them did they actually counteract it with things like the Invis or Ghosts or anything like that. So for the most part, he just got to tear through them, and it was really good teamfight manipulation. Of course, we gotta give props to the Storm Spirit though. Yseek really brought the game back for them. Some really great plays, finding momentum, building himself up, and finding those pickoffs all over the map. Really great game on the whole from them, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from TongFu.WZ in the future. So thanks for tuning in once again, guys, to iLeague China here on Beyond the Summit. If you enjoyed the commentary, please check us out, look us up, show us some love if you so choose. But it is I myself am Blaze at BlazeCasting, and this is at Apemother. So of course you can follow his team, check him out when he's playing for Taco Life. I'm assuming you're captain for them too, right?
Yeah, I'm captain and drafter. I'm playing offlane as well, so it's a lot of transition for me.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a lot of stuff to take in at once. But
yeah.
All the same, watch them as they move forward in multiple Swedish championships and other tournaments they're involved in. Taco Life, Apemother, check them out. But thanks once again for tuning in, and that's going to wrap it up for us today. TongFu.WZ take it 2-0. That was the 6th and final game for iLeague China today, and it was an absolute pleasure to be able to broadcast it for you guys on behalf of Beyond the Summit. So you all have a great night, enjoy some 6.84 Dota, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.